This little patch of dirt right here. You boys probably don't believe it, but right here is basically where my brother, my ex-girlfriend as well, we all learnt to ride motorbikes. This is Wild Tracks MX in the UK, and it's a track that I've ridden my entire life, so to see it put into MX bikes now makes me a very, very happy man. This is created by Callum MX22, and I believe it's the second version that he's done, and it's all been taken from LiDAR data, so it should be a pretty close one-to-one scale replica. I imagine that in-game it's going to run a little bit on the smaller slash tighter side, and I'm going to ride the 250 today for you. However, I'm very, very excited for it, and as I go around and do some laps, I'll be able to tell you all of the insider information. It's nice actually being able to play a track that I've ridden myself again, and yeah, let's jump into it.
If you're enjoying the content so far, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. He would really appreciate it. Back to the video.
Right, so starting off in the pits right here, my usual parking spot is those vans on the right-hand side. Now, this place in general, it's not just a motocross track. It has places out the back where you can drive jeeps. There's a little like Segway track as well area. Right over in the distance, I'm not sure if you can see it, there is a go-kart track, which I think is turned into a supermoto track in this game. And then over there, those little mounds that I was showing off in the very, very beginning, they are essentially kids tracks, and they do things where you can pay to show up on the day. You get the bike and the kit all provided for you, and you get taught how to ride bikes, and really, really, really good stuff all round. Now, I think it's predominantly a practice track nowadays. Back when I was younger, we did used to have races, and we've got the start straight right here in front of me that hooks round and turns right. This banking right here that everyone stood on, is you just get to sit on top of it and watch everyone riding throughout the day. Pretty good track to spectate on overall. But let's just see how it goes. I've got the road set to 1.2, so we might be able to get a rut or two forming in here. As I flew over the track, it actually looked incredibly rough. I think Callum did say that it's a bit of a hard track to get used to, but once you get going it's fine. I've seen right here, so this isn't a split section or anything like that. You can see it kind of divides into a left side and a right side. This is just two different track layouts. This track's got a couple different layouts that it does here and there. For the most part, you hook over to the right here, and then as you come out of this corner, you get a really, really nice little seat bounce tabletop, which I always love. I've got a few nice pictures of myself over the years on that. Now, this is quite a big tabletop in person, a fun one, and this double right here, a very, very infamous double, I suppose, in terms of the UK. Now, this is meant to be two massive singles. I think the LiDAR data has kind of smoothed everything out a little bit, so it's not as peaky as it could be. There's been maybe a handful of people that have ever doubled this from there to here. I've seen people buckle their wheels and all their spokes all over the place. I've seen someone break both their ankles going for it. It is a hell of a jump. Like, really, really impressive stuff. Going along this back straight here, quite common for this to get hella head shaky towards the end of the day. And right here, this is one of them bits where it's a really good track for practicing your ruts, I find. There's lots of switchbacks, back and forth 180s. Another little bit where the track can change. We can either go to the left and follow the track that we've got designed in game, or sometimes as well you'll see it going straight on here across, missing out that corner, and over to here. The amount of people that I've seen cut into that little inside banking there to kind of miss all the ruts in the corners is also incredible. And then the only part that really isn't true to life right now, I'm guessing because the data wasn't updated enough, is right here. This is a very fast part of the track where you kind of come flying in here, you come into this corner, you like slam against the banking to my left. However, more recently it's been updated, so it's slowed down a bit. So you come over this banking, you head further down this way, and then you pop a 180 to the right over here and come back up on a little like off camber corner just to slow the track down a little bit, and I actually prefer the most recent layout of it. Now, that is almost an entire lap. Let me get around the rest of it here. Fun little tabletop, and usually gets quite rough onto this roller, and the downside of that, you can really wind it up open on this straight here, and then you get on the binders and hook into one of these corners. And my favourite bum whip jump on probably any track is this little roller here. You get people standing to the right, you can throw it a little bit sideways as you go up and over that, and then you get on the power, launch this ski jump to flat, as brave as you want to be, and then that is an entire lap right there. Let me try this bit, because I can't remember ever doing the track with this layout where it goes to the left hand side. I definitely prefer the tabletop way, 100%. So let's try and get some speed down. Let's get some laps going, try and work it out a little bit. I wonder if I'm going to have to try and see if I can double that at some point. I think there's some parts of the track where it turns a little bit more than maybe it should, so I'm not sure if this is kind of like a final finished project from Callum, or if he anticipates going back at some point and touching things up here and there. If you want to see myself riding this track in person in absolutely terrible quality, because I think it was on like one of the original GoPros, if you just search Lynn's Live on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see it. You'll get to see one of the more recent layouts of it as well. And I would just like to preface that that video that I've done on that is was my first time riding in a very, very long time. So cut me a little bit of slack. I'm good for about a lap, and then my arms just completely destroy and go. Now, in person, this, depending on what the weather's been like leading up to practice day, this track can kind of go in two completely different ways. If it's been super, super dry, then it can be quite hard pack in places. You get a lot of stones coming up from the ground. I actually quite like it when it's like that. I do like myself a good hard pack track. However, in the winter time, or if it's had a little bit of rain, some of these ruts can get super, super deep and the track gets really loamy. So you do really get, I suppose, two tracks for the price of one, depending on what time of the year you want to show up on. I think in-game right now, I want to say that it's soft soil traction, just like the standard one that all the tyres seem to work the best on. I've just chucked my Supercross setup on here, which is actually default suspension and stuff on the Honda. I think I've only very slightly tweaked maybe like the geometry with the swing arm and things like that. And I was doing a bunch of practice last night on this Honda 250 because I'm sure I've mentioned it 1,001 times by now, but I may as well do it again, that next aerial round is the start of the East Coast. So I'm going to be doing 450 EU as normal, but then on the NA side of things, I get to do my first 250 NA round, and we're going to see how that championship goes. If I remember to, I would like to record it and upload it as videos as well. It would be raw footage for the sole reason of I can't really see it talking at 2-3 AM in the morning, but nonetheless, should be good fun, and I'm excited for a new challenge. I'm definitely not up to speed with the rest of the 250 guys. I think the 250 class speed is really, really, really quick, and I find it quite difficult switching back and forth between the 450s and the 250s. I'm not sure if anyone else really has that same problem, but it's just the way the bikes handle, the way you ride them are completely different, and I'm sure if I spend a bunch of time getting used to the 250, my 450 riding will probably suffer as well. So it's like a catch-22. It's which one do I want to focus on, and honestly, my main focus is EU 450, so I'll just see what happens on the 250 side. We have got the MX Bikes GP season coming up very, very soon. I think the day that you're watching this, it should be Monday the 30th of January. There's going to be a pre-season practice race, and I'm unsure what class to ride. I'm open to suggestions there, whether you guys think I should do 450s or 250s. Over the last couple of weeks since the Beta 18 OEM bikes have been out, I've had one hell of a headache trying to get the 450s around any nationals track. I'm not sure what it is. I'm suffering a lot with front end issues. I've not messed on a bunch of different bikes, if I'm being completely honest. I tend to stick to the Fantic and on the Supercross setup as well, which definitely doesn't help my case. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether to stick it out in 450s for the MX Bikes GP series, or do something which I know I will find a bit more fun. And at the end of the day, I am all about trying to have fun on this game. I think the 250s will be a lot more fun. Maybe I'll ask people like Rum and just other people that I'm friends with that will be racing it what they'll be using. That might influence me. Maybe I'll go in the same group as them, because it is fun getting to race against your friends at the end of the day, rather than just against all of the randoms and the other competitors. In terms of real life riding this year, because I always get a bunch of comments as well about when my next real life video is going to be, I'm just waiting for the weather to get a bit better, if I'm honest. It's still like quite cold and wet and windy here in the southeast of the UK, and I know Charlie wants to get out this year as well at some point, so I'd love to do some duo, not even like vlogs, but you'll get to see me and him riding against each other. I can basically hold him behind me for a lap, and then he will go flying off in the distance, as he is a good couple of seconds lap quicker than me. Same with like Reese as well. That one video I had with Reese in it, I could hold him off of me for a while, and then it's just gone. Once he gets past, he'll disappear off into the sunset. But I'm really excited for that. I do enjoy my days out on the bikes with old Charles, and it'll just be interesting, I suppose, for you guys to get a little comparison between bikes and real life. It always seems like everyone that I'm fast laning MX Bikes is faster than me in real life, and then people that might be faster than me in bikes. I'm faster than in real life. It's strange how that works, but nonetheless, I'm really, really excited. I'm just gonna keep going how it's going. I feel really good in not like super good in terms of physical right now. Obviously the cardio could be a hell of a lot better, but I definitely don't feel like a slog like I was last time I was riding. I feel like I would actually be able to hold onto the bike for a good few laps before I have to pull in and bend over and puke and gasp my last breath. Now, Callum was saying that this is meant to be quite a difficult track, but I seem to be... I'm probably going to lose the front end there. No, it's fine. I seem to be going around fairly well so far. I suppose in terms of realism, there's some parts that he's got really, really well, and then others that are slightly different, but I think the changes that he's made are to make it work better with MX bikes, so I don't hate it. Like these corners here, the ruts tend to be a lot more narrower, like a lot skinnier ruts and deeper, but that wouldn't work in bikes very well. You'd get a lot of front end tucks going on. So I think all the little changes that he's made are absolutely fine. You know, I think they're really, really good. Maybe some updates in terms of models and stuff. I'm not sure if he has much experience on the modelling side of things and creating objects. But dotted around the track in a lot of places there's like a traffic light system, so instead of them having a bunch of marshals everywhere, they've got a couple of marshals, but for the most part they'll have, like, I mean, if you go go-karting wherever you see like yellow lights dotted around instead of a yellow flag, and red and green and so forth. Maybe adding some of them to the side might be pretty cool. I generally can't remember off the top of my head what they have around the outside. I don't think they have got like the yellow stakes like marking the track. I generally think it could be nothing. It's been a while since I've been there, although it's probably one of the main places that I will be riding this year if I do get out there a little bit more. Oh, I probably should mention as well that the last 2 days I've not had video up at all, and it's really weird because I've generally not been busy. I've just been sat here kind of like playing other games and enjoying myself, like playing a hell of a lot of FIFA and pro clubs and stuff like that. And I don't know, I didn't get in the mood to record anything. So the whole a video a day for 2023 has already gone in the bin, and I've only got myself to blame. I do need to self-motivate myself a little bit more from time to time. I'm hoping that it doesn't affect me too badly in terms of like channel traffic and such, because I really have found that the more consistent you are at this whole YouTube thing, the better off it is in the long run. You know, you get more and more fresh faces to your channel who will then go and watch some of your older videos if they like it, and so on and so forth. So I do want to grind a little bit more, and hopefully on the same day that you're seeing this as well, like I mentioned with the MX Bikes GPs, I'd like to see if I can stream those too. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go or do every single GP race. I suppose if I'm doing quite well in the championship, I could always try and move things around and see what I'm doing here and there. But obviously longer time viewers of the channel know that my partner and I live quite far away from each other. It's about a 4-hour journey. So when I do go and visit, I try and do it for like a week or so at a time, which means it interferes a little bit with bikes. But at the end of the day, although this is kind of my job, I would much rather spend some quality time with my girlfriend than I would sitting here playing MX Bikes. I know that's probably quite a surprise, quite a shock for some of you, but that's the honest truth. I do really, really enjoy my time away from home visiting her. So if you see me missing for one of the rounds or 2 of the rounds, you know why. I always will try and get a good amount of content pre-recorded and uploaded ahead of time. So in terms of daily videos, it's usually business as normal. But yeah, in terms of like live streams, it will sometimes slack a little bit. Same reason that I didn't live stream at all last week. Well, other than the Friday for Ariel, you know, but prior to that, no public lobbies or anything like that, just because I was spending some time with her, binge watching The Walking Dead. I got a hell of a lot of suggestions on what to watch next on my Arena Cross video, so thank you very much for that. I did just want to say that we've already started watching The Boys. We watched like the first 2 seasons of that. Peaky Blinders is something that I'd quite like to get into. I'm always getting YouTube shorts in my recommended of like Peaky Blinders moments. So I feel like at this point I've probably seen most of the series without seeing the series, but it is what it is. It's absolutely fine. I did want to say I'm actually having a hell of a lot of fun riding around this track, and it always is really weird trying to just put yourself, like, take out of your brain how you'd ride the track in person and realise that it's not going to be exactly the same in bikes, because as much as the game tries to be a simulator, obviously it's got all its little quirks and weird things and ways to go fast, so it doesn't Oh, it doesn't always work out quite like that. But who knows, maybe I can start using this to mentally get all of the track in my brain again and hopefully go faster in real life. One thing that I used to do when I was racing week in and week out is I'd always go and watch YouTube videos, either of my own GoPro videos, either of my own that I had like saved down, or go on YouTube and search for other people's GoPro videos of the tracks I was going to, and just really ingrain all of the track into my memory. Even if it's a track that I've been to time and time again, there's something about watching it and getting in that mental space that I always really enjoyed. So maybe I should get back onto that again and just really try and make a push in terms of general fitness. I mean, the rock climbing that I do, I absolutely love it for simulating arm pump. I've never done anything else in my life that gives you that same feeling of awful arm pump as rock climbing. You know, if you get on a traverse wall and you're even climbing for a minute or so without getting off the wall, your arms are just shot, they're gone, to the point where you can't even like squeeze your hands together anymore. Like, you can't touch your thumb to your fingertips. And really, when you get bad arm pump at motocross, you know exactly what that's like. You can't hold onto the bike anymore, your forearms are completely dead. And if nobody has tried rock climbing before, and maybe you want a little bit of forearm training rather than the old squeezing a tennis ball or like doing pull-ups while holding onto a towel to really use your forearms and grip strength, stuff like that, give rock climbing a go. I absolutely love it. One of my good online friends, Tanner Rogers, also loves it as well. He never knew that I'd done it before until I uploaded a picture of it to my Instagram, and he was like, "Oh, I had no idea that you climbed." So yeah, just a little interesting thing there. And then of course getting on the old exercise bike some more, getting on the Zwift. And one thing that's quite cool is usually when I render videos, I don't really do much else on the PC at the same time, just because it's quite computer intensive. So I can just hop on the exercise bike at that time, do a little bit of Zwifting, see how that goes. And one person, I can't remember who it was, there was one person that mentioned in the comments when I mentioned Zwift before, I should do like group rides on Zwift. I don't know how many people of you watching this have Zwift, or if you do it at all, but if you are a cyclist or anything like that, definitely check it out. It's just like, it's cycling indoors, but it's hooked up to your PC and it's essentially a game on your PC. You know, you can level up on it to unlock different outfits and like bikes and things like that, and it's just really cool. It's nice open world stuff. You can take part in events and race against other people in their own like living room, garage, bedroom, wherever they might be cycling from to, and I definitely recommend it. It is good. That is Zwift with a Z, not like Swift with an S, but go check it out. Or let me know how many of you do it, and if there's a good handful of people, then maybe I will organise like a group ride at some point, just a nice casual ride. I know that the like English national motocross series used to have group rides before, where all the motocross guys would get together and train on there. So it's cool. You get a lot of different communities in there. I mean, I'm not a massive cycling person in respects to watching Tour de France or getting all lycra'd up and things like that. I just like my casual cycling or my downhill mountain biking now and then. But it's a good way to pass the time, other than getting your cheeks absolutely destroyed by by the seat, because mine goes hella numb after about half hour. Doesn't matter how many hours I put into that saddle. Yeah, the pain never changes. That pain tends to go in my arse before it goes in my thighs and my calves, but nonetheless, it's all good fun. Now, overall, Callum, I am actually really enjoying this track. Some of the ruts hold you really, really nicely. There's one or two little rough bits dotted around here and there, but I'm guessing you've not done a whole lot in terms of like really small refinements of the track. I think a lot of it is the LiDAR data, and then you've slapped some ruts in there too. I think it looks nice. I'm a big fan of the colour of the decals. I mean, off track's nice and green, on track's nice and dirty, I guess. Nice and brown. It'd be quite cool if you could upgrade the Kennet track a little bit. I'm not sure if there's any GoPros on YouTube for you to get that information from, but the Kennet track is the kids track that I kind of was above on at the start of the video in the little intro. It'd be really cool to see that. Maybe we can ride around some bloody 50s or anything, or pit bikes if it ever comes to that. That would be quite cool. And yeah, it's really, really nice seeing a track that has a special place in my heart be put into a game at last. And I imagine when the two-stroke come out on the 20th of February, riding a 125 round here would be a hell of a lot of fun. Although the 250 actually doesn't feel like overkill, it feels like a really good amount of power, which I was quite surprised by. When I was flying around it at first, I thought the track would feel a lot tighter than it does, as I made probably like my first biggest mistake of the entire video. but really, really good job. And I'm so happy that someone's made it, so thank you very much for that. I knew that, obviously, where you made Lommel prior to this, we was going to have a really, really good time with some other tracks that you make, so it's nice to see somebody that's a bit more on the talented side making some tracks that I really want in the game. That'll do it from me. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and obviously let me know how you think Callum's done too, if you've ridden this track in real life as well. And I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will see you later on for the MX Bikes and Nation stream, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Have a lovely rest of the day. Peace.